turn that one on out there. These are findings. Okay, it is 7 o'clock, so I will call a meeting of the Owen County BZA for May the 16th, 2024 to order. First, or second on the agenda, Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you haven't signed in, make sure you do so before you leave. If you come forward to speak, please state your name and your address and talk loud, because if you've watched online, people can't hear you, especially if you're in the back of the room. So I'd like everyone to come to the microphone. We'll make sure it's on so that everyone can hear what's being said. Roll call.
Sam Calvert. Here. Corbin Abel.
Here.
Warren Warner.
Here.
Dustin Combs.
Here.
Beth Wood. Here.
All right, number 4, April the 18th meeting minutes. We've had those in our packet. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April.
Corbin April.
I'll second.
Second by Sandra. All in favor, by show of hands.
Owen here.
Abstention. 2 abstains, so 302. Old business, number 5. Do we have any old business? All righty, moving on. New business, number 6. Public hearing for use variance BZA 2024-6. So I will call the public hearing for BZA 2024-6 for Owen Valley Winery to order. Let me go through my script and then I'll bring you up, okay? So, Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances for the development standards such as setbacks of the zoning ordinance. The board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval. A variance may be approved only upon a determination in writing of the following. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the areas adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Indiana Code 36-7-4-920, Owen County Zoning Ordinance 16.3. Public notice in accordance with IC 5-3-1-2 and IC 5-3-1-4 shall be published 10 days prior to the meeting. Did we get that done?
Yes.
Number 2, at least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall notify all interested parties of the public hearing by certified mail. Did that happen?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, at least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall post and maintain a sign on the subject property notifying those passing the property that a request for a variance approval for the property had been made. Did that sign get put out there? Okay. Number 4, the staff, if any, may appear before the board at the hearing to present evidence in support of or in opposition to the granting of the variance or the determination of any other matters, which is why we're having the public hearing tonight, and we'll bring you up here in just a minute. Number 5, other persons may appear and present relevant evidence. Number 6, a person may not communicate with any member of the board before the hearing with the intent to influence the member's actions on a matter pending before the board. Has anyone heard from anyone from this applicant? Okay. Number 7, not less than 5 days before the hearing, the staff may file with the board a written statement setting forth any facts or opinions relating to the matter. Did we receive anything in writing from anyone? Okay. Number 8, the board shall conduct a public hearing on the application for the variance approval. That's what we're doing tonight. Number 9, following the hearing, the board shall take action on the application. The board may approve or deny or approve with conditions. That's our 3 options. Number 10, the board shall make written findings of the facts in support of the decision. I have those here. Once we've made those, they'll be available for pickup or to be looked at in her office. Owen County zoning ordinance 12-.32, oh, it's setback, so that doesn't apply to this one. Okay. With that being said, Oliver Winery, you may come up, state your name, or, what did I say, Oliver? Owen Valley Winery.
All right, happens all the time. Good evening, everyone. So you're gonna have to walk me through this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I've got the, Hello, good evening, everyone. My name's Anthony Liederbrand, 491 Timber Ridge Road, Spencer, Indiana. You have to help me, lead me through this. I don't know what to do as far as.
If you don't mind, I'll just talk and you can
Absolutely,
what
I'll
I'm
address it.
saying.
Absolutely.
So what it looks like to me is you came in to do some paperwork, they looked, and at some point, this never happened, where you had a variance for agricultural, right?
It was based on the determination was that they were permitted to be agricultural use for the growing of the wine, the grapes and everything, but the production and the distribution from the property was not.
Right. And that part was never, okay.
Within
All right, so basically what we're looking at here is obviously you want to continue to function.
As long as the county wants the tax dollars, we're ready to keep doing it.
All right. So basically what we're trying to do is we got to meet the criteria that we just mentioned, and we have to make a determination on whether to grant him the ability to not only grow it, but manufacture and distribute from his location. Okay? So with that being said, board, do you have anything for him? And I have nothing either. Do you have anything further beyond what I just said?
Nope, that's it.
All righty.
Just want to keep going.
Okay, so let me go through these findings here, and we will form our written findings, and then we can put them in writing so that he'll have access to them. If I missed a step here, Dana? I called it to order. We need to close it?
Need to close it.
Oh,
Public comments.
Public comments,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, thank you. Do we have any public comments on this application? Yes, sir. Name, address, and then,
Hi, my name is J.D. Hetty.
Okay.
I live at 552 Timber Ridge Road,
okay,
directly across the street.
all right,
I'll be brief. These are class people. These are class friends. They have a class business. They have alcohol and music together, which sometimes can get a little crazy. Never once have I had anyone come into my yard drunk, driven through my yard, beaten on my door. Their music is supposed to be off at 8 o'clock. It's not going until 10 o'clock. It's off at 8 o'clock. I don't have any reservations with supporting his business and whatever variance you all need.
okay.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions for him? Thank you, sir. Anyone else on this application? Okay. So, the board being duly advised now makes the following findings as required by law to allow use variance to wit. The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, moral, and general welfare of the community. Hearing from the neighbor across the street, having been out there myself a couple of times, and seeing nothing in writing or anyone in attendance that's opposed to this, I see no way that this is injurious to the public health, safety, or morals. Would you guys agree with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Susan, is that enough to give you a written? Okay. The use and value of the area adjacent to property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Quite honestly, you've been there for how many years?
Since 2011, so
Okay.
open to the public, yeah.
And has a good turnout, has no problem with the neighbor across the street. I don't see how granting this variance would adjust that in any way, shape, or form. Would you guys agree with that?
Agreed.
Okay. Need for a variance arises from a condition particular to the property involved, well, obviously, and it was just a misstep on the county's part that this hasn't been dealt with before. Number 4, strict application of the terms of zoning ordinance will constitute a unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought. If we don't do this, he's out of business, and that is not what I'm about for Owen County. Okay, so, and then number 5, approval does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan because I do believe that in the comprehensive plan we addressed trying to get commercial businesses to come into Owen County or support the ones that are here. It makes us all better. So I don't think we're burying up the comprehensive plan on that one. Anyone got anything on that? No? Okay. So with that being said, I will close the public hearing for BZA 2024-6, and then I will entertain a motion.
I make the motion that we grant the variance for the Owen Valley Winery.
Okay.
second.
Beth Wood and Dustin Combs is the second. Everyone who agrees with this variance with the findings that we just went through, by show of hands? I vote. I am not on my A game. Okay, sir, you are good. You're good to go. These will be available in her office. Sometime next week would be my guess.
Thank you all, appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Public hearing for design variance of VZA 2024-7 for Bobby White. So I will call the public hearing for BZA 2024-7 to order. Come on forward, Bob. Just for the record, state your name, your address, and then present your application, sir.
My name is Bobby White, 3303 Stoltz Road, Spencer, Indiana. And this variance, it's actually for 2 pieces of property involved.
Okay.
My dad purchased a farm over on Pottersville Road in like 1964, okay? And unfortunately, my mom and dad have passed away now. My dad passed away in April 25th of last year, and they have 4 sons. So we want to keep the property because land's something they're not making any more of. But we're also, none of us are what you call spring chickens anymore. We're all, my youngest brother is 70, and my older brother will be 77 in July. So we decided we'll just split it up between us because, you know, we don't want to pass along issues to our children, you know, when we start kicking the bucket, which, so anyway, so we got a surveyor and, you know, and survey pieces of property, you know, they're not equal. We didn't realize at all what we were getting into. Suzanne's been very helpful in clarifying, you know, and slapping her wrist when we do something wrong, because we didn't know we were doing anything wrong, but anyhow, So we're going to divide we ultimately had the place surveyed into 6 different pieces, okay? My dad's house being one, because none of us need a house. We've all been in our homes for over 20 years, and nobody wants to move. But with the situation of where that house is actually located, when we got the survey done, the lot we put with it is only like 2¼ acres. And the whole thing's zoned to agriculture, so I guess, so. And then my grandson, Dustin Cheeseman, he came to me, wanted to know if he could get a couple acres, because he needs a place for his family, so. And there was a little outcropping on the portion that I was gonna get, on Pottersville Road, so it's called the survey. He had sent us a preliminary, and I said, just add one more line there between this point and this point, and Dustin could eventually build there. But that's 2.58 acres.
Right.
So, the variance we need is just, for those lots being less than 5 acres, okay? Now, my dad's house has been there for like 30 years with no issues. And there's nothing on the other lot yet. Dustin has a trailer pulled in there, but, nothing's been done as far as,
Bob, the 2.58 acres, is there a easement of some kind to get to it through this other property?
it's directly on
It's directly on the road?
the road, yes.
All right.
Directly on the road.
So it's the one that's right on Pottersville?
Right.
Okay.
They're both actually right on Pottersville.
Okay.
Both have frontage.
All right. Well, I was out
I
there the
did-
other day, but I wasn't sure which lot was which, but
I
both of
did
these
bring,
are.
these are overhead shots from, it's just what the county's got. Well, it's the same thing on the
Same
screen
thing
up
up
there,
here.
yeah. And, so,
You have the surveys.
Yeah, I've got,
yeah,
So it's,
my dad's house
so he can,
is right here.
Okay.
And then
The other
the other
one's,
piece of property is in between Joseph S. White there and Renee Weston's property.
all right.
Little outcropping in between there.
basically these here.
Just these two right here.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
kind of blocked out for a while, but.
All right. You got anything else, Bob, on that?
No, we just need to be able to, my brother and I intend to sell my dad's house. And currently, it is rented to my brother Bill's stepson and his fiance live there, and they would like to purchase.
Okay.
Because Brother Bill lives right directly across the road from him. And then his fiance's mother lives right next to Brother Bill.
Sounds like a family place.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I-
All right, well, I apologize ahead of time, but I do have to go through this script again. Why don't we go, yeah, I'll just work my way through it, and then we'll take public comment after I'm done before we close the, anybody got anything for Bill? Bob, I mean? No, okay. All right, thank you, Bob. I do have to go through the script here.
no problem.
So the Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances for the development standards such as setbacks of the zoning ordinance. The board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval. A variance may be approved only upon the determination in writing that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And a strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Indiana Code 36-7-4-920. Public notice in accordance with Indiana Code 5-3-1-2 and Indiana Code 5-3-1-4 shall be published at least 10 days prior to the meeting. We get that done. At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall notify all interested parties of public hearing by certified mail. Did that happen? They're probably all the same family, right?
There's a few outside.
Few outside?
That got letters.
And
We limit them.
I got one.
at least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall post and maintain a sign on the subject property notifying those passing the property that the request for variance of approval for the property has been made. Do we have a sign out there?
Yes.
Okay. The staff, if any, may appear before the board at the hearing and present evidence in support of or opposition to the granting of the variance or determination of any other matter. Other persons may appear and present relevant information. A person may not communicate with any member of the board before the hearing with intent to influence the member's actions on a matter pending before the board. I'm assuming no one heard from anyone?
No, sir. No.
Not less than 5 days prior to the hearing, the staff may file with the board a written statement setting forth any facts or opinions relating to the matter. The board shall conduct a public hearing on the application of the variance approval. Following the hearing, the board shall take action on the application. The board may approve, deny, or approve with conditions. And the board shall make written findings of facts in support of their decision. Okay? And the variance that we're looking for here is varying from the 5-acre subdivision provision to be, in this case, 258 and, what was it, 225? Is that something?
2.25.
Okay. All righty. With that being said, anyone here to speak on this application? Yes, ma'am.
Will you come up there?
Yes. Just so we can hear you.
I know. Here, yeah. Okay, my name's Martha Murray,
Uh-huh.
and I am that said mother-in-law
Okay.
that lives next door to that property. The survey that has been done on that is totally wrong. It's 12 feet on my side of the property line. And I'm not happy with dividing up something that's going to give away 12 feet all the way down my property.
Okay. Which lot are we talking?
The lot, the side that Renee West owns, on the other side of Bill White.
Which one is Renee's?
It's on the, like, the northeast side is Renee's property of the,
No, it's not on Renee's side.
Pardon me?
Renee bought the Mallow place.
Renee bought, yes, and I live on that side of the road, next to Bill.
I know, but you're,
I'm on the other side of that property that belongs, that Bill's living on.
She's
And-
over here.
And the survey is,
On the
and the
far
survey is
south
wrong.
side.
okay,
Okay.
Not the north side.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, I see down here, the
Yeah, I
Murray.
see it.
I see, it's hard to see with the yellow
Yeah.
writing through, I see it there, okay.
So your contention is the survey is in the wrong place?
The survey is incorrect,
Okay.
and they have 12 feet of my property.
But the two pieces of property that I'm looking at aren't near, even anywhere near that property, that's what I'm, like, we're just, the property we're discussing
Yep,
today
we're
is
just
not the-
looking at the two red in this drawing up here, the two that border Pottersville.
Okay, this piece of property that he's talking about, he said, was bordered on one side by the house that Renee West bought,
Uh-huh.
and on the other side by the said mother-in-law of Bill White's stepson.
Okay.
I am that mother-in-law, and that survey is 12 feet on my side of the line.
Have you had your property surveyed?
I have not had that 5 acres in the front surveyed, because when I had the other part surveyed, when I moved here, and I moved here in '88, and early '90s, I had it surveyed, but the courthouse didn't have that piece of property correctly mapped out.
Down here.
I do have all the paperwork and I have everything else to it. But no, I did not have that section surveyed yet,
Okay.
the 5.3 acres in the front, which wouldn't be 5.3 acres if they got 12 feet all the way down.
So if you look at the screens,
Uh-huh.
those are what maps out on your surveys you have around you.
Uh-huh.
Those are the lines that map out.
How about the
The
green?
different colors, yeah, there's different colors all on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's each brother's piece, even the two smaller pieces that he's, but if you see, when I highlight the green,
Yes.
is currently the line around the property. There is a gap between there and the survey. So there is a gap between these two lines.
But if
Where
that
it
other
doesn't go
side,
to her driveway. The property line stops before her driveway.
if
That
the
is
other
correct.
side hasn't been surveyed, then you don't really know.
That, your contention is that the fence is the right place?
Yes,
And David Meyer said that it was. You're operating on misinformation.
but they got the survey stake all the way over by my driveway.
The driveway, the north side of the driveway is the property line. This, based on the survey, so,
So this is the property line or not?
yeah. So this line here,
Uh-huh.
this line here, and this line here are from the survey that was provided by David Meyer. So there is a gap here
So
between
where
where
did this
we are
line-
showing currently to where his survey line says it should be.
So this is actually.
So this is her driveway,
Okay.
and that,
And
and the
how many,
line
does
is on
it
the
tell how
north
many
side.
feet on the other side of that driveway that property goes?
I mean, it doesn't note it on the survey.
Because right now, the survey stake is on the right side of the driveway, the proper side of the driveway, but it's not on the property line. It's not on the fence line.
You're saying it's too close to the driveway, it needs to be further away from the
So
driveway.
you're saying it needs to go further this way? Oh.
Yes, because it's just right beside, it's like this far from my driveway, and I own just a little bit further than that, 12 more feet.
But back to my original comment, the discussion we're having here today is to do with the pieces of property that are not involved with this
Yeah.
line.
That line-
So that's where I
That
thought
line
that's a
doesn't
separate.
touch either one of
Okay,
those.
I got a letter, so I presumed that it
That's-
had something to do with my piece of property because I have this letter
Well,
from
Right.
that's because of the proximity you are to those
Your
properties.
adjacent property, but
Yes.
like Beth said, it's all one survey, but what they're wanting to divide off.
Because this even says that it's the property across the street. It doesn't even say that it's my property, but it was sent to me, and the survey, since the survey stake is in the wrong spot, I just thought I would be here to
Oh, I
say
agree,
so.
I agree your comments, and I think, I just don't know if in this meeting we
You
can
don't know if it has anything to do
discuss it.
with
It
this.
needs to be addressed in a
I
different.
understand that.
We would need to address
I
it with
just,
the
I
survey.
just meant,
Right.
I just was concerned if it was going to separate all of the pieces of property, then my piece of property would be infringed upon.
They're just asking for a variance from the 5-acre rule.
Right.
for
To make
two
those two
out of the
lots.
Okay,
6 lots.
gotcha.
But you do need to, I mean,
I
you
ne-
guys
I
need
will
to get a
get-
survey.
I will get a
or
survey.
Get it figured out,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
but that doesn't
And
have
I know,
anything to
Bill,
do.
like Bill said, he said, I know that the property line is right there on the fence, but we're old. We're not gonna be here forever, and
I would
who knows what our
definitely,
kids know?
I would definitely get it figured out
I
while
mean,
you
come
guys
on.
are,
I'm 77 years old,
Right.
I'm old.
yeah. You definitely need to get that figured out, but like we said, it doesn't affect the two properties we're looking at.
Okay.
The reason you got that is because you're within a
Because
eighth of
my
a mile
property's
of the
touching that
property,
property.
right? So,
I
which
just-
means you have a right to come and talk all you
I
want.
just wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving anything away, okay?
No.
Thank you
Okay,
thank you for
guys.
bringing it up, yeah.
Yes. Okay, anyone else on this application? No. Okay. All right. With that being said, I will close the public hearing for 2024-7. All right. Now for the findings. Well, first off, did you guys have anything, comments otherwise? All right, let me make sure I've got the right one here, because I have not been on my A game. All right, so, The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. This sounds like a family farm that there's just going to be more family on. Notwithstanding the survey that would need to be done, but that is outside of our scope here. I don't see that approving this would be a problem if the rest of you agree. Use and value of the area adjacent to property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. I actually feel that if we build nice houses on that it's going to help the property value, not hurt it.
Yep.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Obviously, they can't do a 5 acre if there's not a room for a 5 acre there. So I can see how that would be a practical difficulty. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion on this application.
I'll make a motion to approve the use variance of the 2.58 acre lot 6 and then the 2.25 acre lot.
Motion by Mr. Haverhill.
I'll second it.
Uh,
Oh, let Sandy do it.
Sandy got her by just a hair. Okay. All in favor of approval of this variance, by show of hands? 5-0. All right, Bob, you're in shape. I do think you guys should get together on that survey and get it figured out, but that doesn't affect this application. Do you have enough to write these up, findings up?
Early next week.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Make sure I got the right one to give you here.
Take care.
There you go. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. C, public hearing for design variance BZA 2024-8, Kevin Burke. I call the BZA 2024-8 public hearing to order. I'm assuming you're Mr. Burks?
I am.
All right, Mr. Burks, state your name and address, please, and then present your application.
Kevin Burks, 736 Berkshire Road. I am wanting to put my house, the end of my house, 50 feet from the center of Berkshire Road. Between me and the road, there is a 10-foot bank from 100 years ago when they dug that road through. And at 8 feet off the ground, you cannot see, at 50 feet, 8 feet off the ground, you cannot see the road at all. So I'm wanting to do that to build me a house. I was raised on this property. I want to get back home. My sister will live a mile from me. We're both getting a little older. We want to be close to each other where we can help each other. You're laughing at that.
Recurring theme tonight.
And I just want to be there. I have got some pictures here. I've already been and I've had the ground perked. I've been approved for a septic. I got my septic permit through Owen County.
Good deal. Okay.
This young lady right here was tremendous. I bet she got tired of seeing me come in. I asked a lot of dumb questions, but that's part of being a country boy.
Well, I was out there day before yesterday, because I always go to the properties, and you're right, if you get back 50 feet, you're not going to even see the road from where you're at, because he's
Exactly.
about 10 feet above Brookshire. I'm assuming you're putting the house right there where you have all the wood piled up right now?
Yes, right in that area.
It looked like it. And your septic would go to the right?
It'll be just to the south, yes.
Just to the south,
As you
okay.
face the house, it'll be just to the left of Presby, and he told me it would not be a problem putting that in.
Okay. There's not currently a septic there?
There is not a septic there. This was all growing up, and my sister and her friend have spent all winter with me getting it cleaned up and ready to go.
And did we get a copy of the perk test from the health department?
Oh, okay.
You said Mr. Reeves come out and did the perk test?
No,
for you?
Steve Wade from Linton did.
Steve Wade from Lent?
Yes. And I can get that to you. I didn't realize I needed that.
Usually we get that, usually I make sure you get that by the time you get a building permit.
Okay,
so
And you haven't bought a building permit yet, I'm
He's
assuming?
not on that.
Well, he's gotta wait on those, give him a variance first. Okay, anything else?
You want to see these pictures, what I got, or no?
You can show them, like I said, I was out there,
I wanna see
but let these guys see them. It's actually a really nice piece of property. I like it.
Thank you.
And he brought them from with snow on the ground.
Yeah.
You can see the,
So he's talking about putting the house up in here.
And the septic gentleman, I do not know his name right now, he's from here in Owen County, he said it would be a Presby system, so we're working on that.
you know, it's Ralph Swartz.
Ralph who?
Swartz?
Nope.
No, not him?
Is there a Franklin?
Fender?
Fender,
Fenders,
yes, Fender's
okay.
who I was working with.
Yeah, they do a lot of work around here.
He does good work.
And the septic system also will have to have a perimeter drain around the top of the highest finger, and I've got a good drain where you
Yeah.
saw down the road.
Yeah, it falls off pretty
there
good.
with
It's
the
it's an
perimeter
Owen
drain.
County property, that's for
Yes.
sure. And so do make sure you stay 50 feet, and that would be 50 feet triangulated from the center of the road. I mean, you don't just measure over the hill because
Oh, okay.
you lose distance, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I do have to go through the script after we
Right,
take
I
public
understand.
comment. So, anyone here to speak on this application?
I can.
You can? Okay, step forward.
I'm Karen Burks, this is my
Okay.
brother.
All right.
This property has been in our family for many, many years. I inherited from our parents when they died. I want him back out close to me if possible, because it's not even quite a mile from my driveway on Switchboard Road to where he will be building. And we are both single, and I just would like to have somebody in the neighborhood that can help me out. So I'm excited that hopefully he can be able to build there and help me maintain the other 18 acres I own.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
You deserve a catch.
You just got volunteered for property duty.
No, it's family property. I'm excited.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else on this application? Okay, I do need to go through this script real quick, and then we'll get to the findings. The Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances for the development standards, such as setbacks in this case, of the zoning ordinance. The board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval process. Variance may be approved only under determination in writing of the following: the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Indiana Code 36-7-4-920 and Owen County Zoning Ordinance 16.3. Public notice in accordance with Indiana Codes 5-3-1-2 and 5-3-1-4 shall be published at least 10 days prior to the meeting. Did that happen?
Yes.
At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall notify all interested parties of the public hearing by certified mail.
Yes.
At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall post and maintain a sign on the subject property notifying those passing the property that the request for a variance approval for the property has been made.
Yes.
Staff, if any, may appear before the board at the hearing to present evidence in support of or opposition to granting the variance or the determination of any other matter. Other persons may appear and present relevant information. A person may not communicate with any member of the board before the hearing with the intent of influencing the member's actions on the matter pending before the board. Did anyone hear from anyone? Okay. Corbin.
Did he get to his game?
You had to leave? Okay. At least 5 days before the hearing, the staff may file with the board a written statement setting forth any facts or opinions relating to the matter. The board shall conduct a public hearing on the application of the variance approval. Following the hearing, the board shall take action on application. The board may approve, deny, or approve with conditions, and the board shall make written findings of the facts in support of their decision. Okay. So I will now close the public hearing for 2024-8 first. And then, with these facts in mind, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion that we accept the variance for the design.
All right, do I hear a second?
All second.
Okay, I think Dusty got her that time.
That's okay.
But, I do have one, I'd make sure it's 50 feet
Right.
straight out and
Yeah.
down. Don't measure down over the hill because that puts you too
I
close.
understand.
Okay, so let's go through these written findings real quick. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, and general welfare of the community. I think there again, if we're building houses, that's going to help the property values around him, and it's also going to enhance the area. And really, unless you drive up in his driveway, you probably ain't going to see anything but the roof, so, because of the way the land lays. And apparently his sister will have some help, at her place, so. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. We've already, same argument there. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. He does have a situation where if we move him any further back, he's gonna have a problem finding a place for his septic because it does drop off substantially once the trees get involved. So that's what we'll put on that one, if everybody's in agreement. All right. So, do you have enough to get those findings written up? All right, and we need to vote, yes. So, hearing what we've, our written findings or what they will be, all in favor of granting this variance? Show of hands, 4-0. Since he was at the meeting, Dana, do we need to mark him as abstain, or since he left, are we good with 4-0?
Just so the minutes note that he had.
Okay, so he departed and whatever the time was. All right, you're good to go, sir.
So I need to get her the perk, right?
Yeah, and I would get that to her at some point. These will be written up and available to you sometime next week, okay?
Would it be okay if I fax that to you?
Can you email?
I can email it. I'll get with you, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for all your help.
You're welcome.
So there's that one. All righty. Last but not least, public hearing for conditional use variance BZA 2024-9 for Lori McIntyre, right?
Yes.
So I will call the public hearing for variance BZA 2024-9 to order. State your name and address and present your application, please.
I'm Lori McIntyre, 5395 Oak Road, Poland, Indiana. We're wanting to open a zip line on the front half of our property. Our house sits on the back half, so we would like this to be on the front half. And we have about 14 and a half acres, and mostly hills, woods and hills. So it'll be operating between April 1st and October 31st.
Okay.
And we'd like to do it between Tuesday through Saturday, not operating on Sunday or Monday unless we might have the occasional like Memorial Day or Labor Day, and we want to do it by appointment only. So we want to minimize people just driving there for no reason. We want to do it strictly on appointments. So they have to make an appointment to come. And if they bring multiple people, we want to give them an incentive to put as many people in the car as possible to give them a discount if they carpool, to reduce the amount of cars just driving through the gravel road.
Have you thought about parking?
The front of our area, of our yard, when you first go into our drive, it's grassy area before you hit the woods. So we have flat area right there that we can put gravel and stuff down to make parking that they can be in our area for that.
Okay. What is this currently zoned?
Agriculture.
Agricultural.
So that front square up there,
Yes.
the front is mainly no trees. It's just grassy area right there. And then right when that line starts, over to the left, that's where all of our woods and all of the hills start, and you can see our house and all of that is in the back area.
Will you have any kind of liability insurance to cover?
Yes,
in case of
definitely,
nature?
most definitely. My husband's already checked into that and talked to several different people
Okay.
on that.
Any plans on running it at night where you'd have to light up the area and possibly bother your neighbors? Okay.
Nope, only during the day.
Only during the day, okay.
9:30 to 4.
9:30 to 4.
And will you guys have any signage or anything out front or anything like that?
I was just thinking about that we're probably gonna have to put something so people know where they're going, but we can make it something that we can take down if we need to. That we don't have to have some permanent big thing, there. We can maybe put it up like, like one of those flags, like that you can get, that you can put up and then take back down. So that way it's not there all the time, but just to let people know
Well, you
where
can-
they need to stop at.
You can put up a sign, we have an ordinance that covers signage and the size of the signs. I would reference you to that. I don't have it in front of me,
Okay.
but there's a criteria you have to follow.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the other thing is it has to be set back far enough where you're not blocking vision in both directions on the adjacent road. I'm assuming that's a county-maintained road that comes across?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd need to make sure you don't block vision in either direction onto the county road from your driveway.
Yeah, on either side of our drive, outside of that grass, is trees that are up at the road.
Okay.
So we wouldn't be
Yeah, I mean,
blocking.
we're not talking a super highway here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, we would, there's like, after you get after our grassy, it's woods. That's right up to the road, but it would be back a little bit.
And who's gonna install this? Is this you, or you gonna do it yourself?
I'm going to be doing most of it.
Okay.
I've got a couple people coming in to help me and an inspector coming in.
All right, so is there any kind of licensing that goes along with that, with Owen County?
There's not
For a
even,
zip line?
there's not even a state license.
There's not even a state license, okay. That's good, I mean, that makes it easy. I just
My
wanna make
husband
sure.
he does tree work for a living,
Okay,
and so he's really good at, I don't know what you call it. All of those,
timbering?
yes, stuff like, you know what I mean, and
Uh-huh.
doing wires and
Yeah.
and cabling. That's what I was
Well, I
looking
mean,
for.
if there's no licensing process, then
But yeah, but
sounds
he
like
is
they're
also
good.
looking at having somebody come, was it from Tennessee? Georgia, that was, that knows all about that, to come up and after to do it, to come in and check everything and inspect it to make sure he has everything the way it needs to be.
Okay.
I have a question about emergency services. Have you talked to them just to kind of let them know that this is your intent? If there is an issue, how far are they away from you?
Okay, I can check on that.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
that's just something that pops into my
Oh,
mind.
I would touch base with Chris Lunsford down at the EMS building, and he could tell you who would be the closest and how long the drive time would be for them.
Well, considering we're in Poland.
Right. I'm assuming the
Fire
one,
station there, and the
Right.
ambulance is close as 15
Right.
minutes
now,
away.
do they have EMT on staff at that one?
Volunteer.
Yeah, it's all
It's all
volunteer.
volunteer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they need that on a restaurant.
Yeah. I'm betting one of them's probably certified. I don't know
Oh,
that.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
at least one of them.
But they are also in Clay County.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyone else on this application?
Yeah, I got something to say.
Okay.
Okay.
My name's Richard Walls. I live at 5397 Oak Road. I live right there in that cutout square.
Okay.
I do not have a problem with the zip line as long as they do what they've been saying. If they spin, we can discuss it more, but I don't have a problem with it.
If they do what?
If they expand any more than
Oh,
what they're
gotcha.
saying, like
Okay.
put campground stuff, I might have a problem, but what they're talking about, I do not have a problem with. I'm the closest neighbor too,
Hmm,
because I actually used to own all that property, but I sold it out because I didn't want it.
okay.
I just kept that little square is all I wanted, but if they want to put a zip line in there, I fully support them.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. So, does this require any kind of zoning change? Because it's agricultural right now, right?
Right, you're doing a resolution for temporary
For,
use.
yeah, this is gonna be a temporary or a conditional variance,
Additional use variances.
conditional use variance. So we're okay as far as that goes because we're doing a conditional use variance for this property. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, this does not follow the property, this follows you guys. So, is that correct? Because it's conditional use.
It expires when they sell.
If you sold your property, they would have to come back and do the same thing if they wanted to continue doing a zip line, is what I'm
Okay.
saying. Huh?
They're never selling.
Well, that's good.
Got a very good deal.
Right.
I would also say that there's been a lot of verbal things that, as far as
Right.
hours and things like that, so those can all be.
Right, so
considered.
we'll need to get those in the findings. So I do have to go through this script real quick, okay?
That's fine.
Anybody else on this application before we go? Okay. So the Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances for the development standards such as, in this case, use variance, conditional use variance of the zoning ordinance. The board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval, and I will have a few for you in our findings. A variance may be approved only upon a determination in writing that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. The use and the value of the area adjacent to property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property.
You're reading the wrong ones, sorry. These are the ones we
Oh.
agreed. Ones that are on the resolution.
Oh, this one, okay. Yeah, I've been reading the one I've read all night, ain't I? Okay, sorry about that. The board being duly advised now makes the following findings as required by law. The requested conditional use is one of the conditional use listed in the zoning district in which the subject property is located. In addition to the other relevant standards imposed by or pursuant to this chapter, the standards used and the conditions set forth in Article 8 are hereby incorporated as standards and used and conditions of the chapter. All conditions, regulations, and development standards required in the zoning ordinance shall be satisfied. Granting the conditional use shall not conflict with the general purpose of the zoning ordinance or with the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan. The conditional use property can be served with adequate utilities, access streets, drainage, and other necessary facilities, which is what prompted our question about the proximity to emergency services. Conditional use shall not involve the element or of cause any condition that may be dangerous, injurious, or noxious to any other properties or persons, and shall comply with performance standards delineated in this ordinance. The conditional use shall be situated, oriented, and landscaped, including buffering, to produce a harmonious relationship of building and grounds with adjacent structures, properties, and uses. The conditional use shall produce a total visual impression and environment which is consistent with the environment of the neighborhood. The conditional use shall organize vehicular access and parking to minimize traffic congestion in the neighborhood. All permits required by federal, state, and local agencies have been obtained. So that's what we have to do. Okay. So with that being said, seeing no other one to speak on this matter, I will close the public hearing for BZA 2024-9. All right, so, couple of things that I'd like to see. When they talk about buffering, if you can buffer the neighbors, I think it would go a long way to causing you no problems. He's got no problem with it, the way it's stated here. The problem with verbal is it's verbal. So I'm also going to say that before anything beyond the zip line would happen, like camping, like staying overnight, like having lights, that would violate what we're looking at tonight, okay? On your parking, I would like to see something other than grass and dirt.
I got gravel going down.
You got gravel going in, good, okay. So that, just because this time of year especially, you get a little rain, you get somebody come out there to get stuck, now you're gonna have a mess out there. There is no licensing that we know of, so you've met that provision. The vehicular access and parking to minimize traffic congestion, you've already spoke on that, and I would highly recommend you do that. Cut them a break if they bring everybody in one vehicle. I think that's a great idea. You guys got anything else for them with this? Okay. All right, with that being said, and with the few conditions that I've spoke of, and if you have any more, please speak up.
The only thing that I kind of have an issue with is it's going to be a commercial operation, but yet they're able to get a homestead on that property as well. I mean, and you don't want to take it away from them because it is their home, but.
Right.
And we have goats and pigs and chickens and greenhouse and
And
like that
I'm-
whole back half, I mean, is,
Yeah, I understand.
It falls
Yeah.
under homesteading, doesn't it? The only other thing I would add is the operational hours. If you want to keep it 9 to 5, I'd keep it 9 to 5 and don't vary from that.
In fact,
No,
we'll,
it's staying at 9:30 to 4. That way,
Yeah.
the people that work on this road, I want them to be able to go to work
Yeah.
and then everybody be gone before they come home.
well, we'll put that in our findings. Operation hours are 9:30 to 4. That's gonna be in our written findings. So we'll go with your numbers.
Is an in-home business effective Wednesday?
Excuse me?
Is an in-home business effective Wednesday?
Falls under
Zoning
cottage
does.
laws, right?
Zoning does, doesn't it?
There is, I mean, you can have an home occupancy, but you have to be in agreement with the county on a home occupancy, so. But you can only use so much of the house or building for
Right,
that purpose.
right.
So whatever's being used is for that purpose, not for your homestead or anything.
What about restroom facilities for your patrons?
I'm going to have 2 outhouses out there.
Okay, so,
Is that going to be would that be an issue?
I would do
Yeah.
porta potties, not outhouses.
That's what he meant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because if
an
you-
outhouse, you'll have to have.
Yeah, you have to get septic for that.
Important.
Okay. So, also part of the findings is minimum of 2 porta potties on the properties during business operation.
and he found a spot that he can put them where they're kind of behind the trees a little bit.
Oh, that'd be
so
nice, yeah.
Normal people can't, I mean, when
Right.
they're driving, they're not gonna see these big pink or green, whatever things sitting there. They'll be kind of hidden a little bit.
Okay.
And when the leaves fall, they'll be moved out. We'll have them taken back. The winter time will be closed.
Okay. What was the months that you were in operation, so we can get that in the written finding as well?
Just,
April 1st to October 31st.
April 1st, October 31st. You got that? Okay. And like I said, this is a conditional, and this doesn't follow the property, this follows you. So if you would happen to move, sell, whatever, that would go away. Okay, we also need to get that in the findings. So, Beth, where are we at on,
I don't. I don't have any more questions.
but on the homestead as opposed to commercial, what's your feeling on that? I mean, you're an expert on that kind of thing.
Well, not really, but can you have a homestead if you live like in a commercial building?
Yes.
You can't you?
So we're probably
But
okay.
it's not like they're gonna be making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, they hope that.
Well, you hope, but.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but yeah.
We're only doing this to get more people to come out and eat at our restaurant.
Yeah. And where's your restaurant?
We own
located?
Retta Jeans in Poland.
Oh, okay. Well, that's smart marketing.
Yeah, because.
But it's not on this property.
No.
No, it's in downtown Poland.
Now,
Yeah,
you would
in
want
the
to do
big downtown Poland.
some pamphlets that tell you how to get from here to there
Exactly.
would be a good idea.
Plan. Gotcha.
Just gonna get, like assessment issue, the assessor would pick up.
They can not building anything.
Right.
I don't think they can charge them on the cable, can they?
Might find a way.
I mean, I'm redoing the cabin out front to store stuff in, but it's already there. I'm just redoing it.
Well, and just keep in mind that part of our findings would be no overnight stays, no.
Oh, no.
No,
it's
no, we're
cabin
fine
for
with
like
that.
the Harnesses
All right.
and just equipment.
Um,
We already decided we don't want nobody overnight staying because we don't want anybody at our house overnight.
Don't blame me there. Okay, well, with those stipulations on the conditional use variance, would entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Dustin, second?
I'll second.
Okay. Sandra Wood, second. All in favor of this conditional use with the conditions that we put on the conditional use variance by show of hands? 4-0. All right, you guys are in business. These written findings will be available probably next week, and you'll see Susan in her office for that, okay?
Thank
And
you.
I expect all of you guys, we're all going zip lining, okay?
I would hit the only tree out there that could do damage, would be my guess. All right, thank you. Okay. Public, number 7, public comments. Dana, you got anything?
You'd be understaffed.
Your staff, that's the next one. Staff, anybody?
I
Do you
do
have anything?
have, there will be a meeting next month. Next Tuesday is the deadline for it, but I already have an application, so there
Okay.
will be, and I have at least possibly 2 more applications coming for that. I did want to bring up the, I believe it was you guys that did the variance on the, it was a conditional use variance on the Daniels Garage property on,
Yes.
Hard Travel. So the other day, I received an email from the ATF asking if the property could run a firearms manufacturing facility out of the property, because apparently they have decided not to run the other thing that they were gonna do, so they were gonna run firearms manufacturing out of the building.
What was the other thing they were gonna do?
Medical
They were-
supplies, they were
Yeah.
building medical devices.
Yeah, so after you after the fact, I guess they decided that you put too many restrictions on them, so they decided not to do that. But they wanted to do the firearms instead. I told them that they couldn't do that because that was not what the neighbors had been notified of.
Yeah, they'd have to start an application process all over again, I would think, for that.
So, yeah, so I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. You are,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So I just wanted you to be aware of it, because if you do have it come back, or if somebody asks you. But,
So manufacturing them there,
manufacturing and distribution.
but not a gun range.
No,
Okay.
not per the ATF. So I just wanted you guys to be aware, because of the fact that the neighbors were aware of one thing,
Right.
and this was a completely change of it. I didn't know, and I had informed them they had to refile to get that again. I just wanted you guys to be aware if it was brought up to you again, why it was being brought back to you. Other than that, I don't think,
How about the time change on the meetings that there was a discussion on changing the time from?
well, Corbin had wanted to change the meeting for tonight to 6 PM.
Okay, but we didn't get it.
I'm not sure that met for all other meetings.
Okay.
Since he left early, we didn't have time to
Well,
ask him.
I asked him about it. I think you're right. I think it was specific to this meeting and perhaps one other, so.
Yeah, because we actually changed it to 7 PM because he couldn't make it to most of those meetings. So that was why it was changed to 7 PM, but I think it was, and I'd already advertised the meeting for 7 o'clock, so you guys would have had to have decided that in the previous meeting to
All right.
adjust the time, so.
Okay, BZA members, you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right, well, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a first and a second on adjournment. We are adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.